Hi and welcome to my channel. This is my follow-up to Stamp Wars video, and I am going to be doing some card making using some products from my craft room. I have a 15% discount code for my craft room that expires at midnight tonight, January 17th, 2022. If you're too late for the coupon, don't worry. You're going to get a lot of great information during this video on hot foiling, and I'm going to be highlighting some of the really cool products that are from Altenew and PinkFresh Studios. Let's get started. If you're not familiar with my craft room, I would encourage you to head on over to their website. They're a small mom and pop online store that also takes their show on the road, and that's how I had the pleasure of meeting Joyce, who is the owner of my craft room, at some craft shows, stamp shows that I went to over the summer. I went to one in Pittsburgh and I went to one in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and got to talk to Joyce at both of those. And she graciously agreed to be the sponsor for Stamp Wars 17. She provided all of the people that were participants in Stamp Wars, as far as those of us that were creating during Stamp Wars, she provided each of us with a complimentary hot foil die set from Altenew. And during Stamp Wars, we had a little over an hour to create a project. And I'm going to show you the project that I created, as well as create some new things with hot foiling. And by the way, the coupon discount code is HOTFOIL15. During Stamp Wars, which you can watch it on Nancy Stamp's channel, I will give you the link. We received this. It's a mystery product. We don't get to see it in advance. So we see it, we open it, and we have to create with it. Sort of a mystery challenge. This is the card that I created, which features several products from Altenew and PinkFresh Studios. This basically hit all the requirements that we were given, which are called sabotages by our host. So each time that we go through Stamp Wars, we don't know what we're getting into. And then we were all to create a tag. Mine's a little bit wonky because we were not allowed to use a die to create our tag. Again, check my link below so you can see how to find more information on Stamp Wars. By the way, there will be a giveaway associated with this video. Stay tuned to the end of my video. I will explain to you how you can enter into the giveaway for the prize that I'm offering, which is your complimentary set of the Tiny Patterns hot foil plate set from Altenew. That's the product that we used during our live that was supplied by my craft room. Nancy will also be giving away the same thing to a lucky winner. Thank you, Joyce, for making those prizes available. Contest is open to U.S. residents only, age 18 and older. Stay tuned to the end of the video. I'll have more information about how to enter my giveaway. The card that I created used the Thankful for Friends hot foil plate, stencils, and die, which are each sold separately. And I used that along with the Tiny Patterns hot foil plate set from Altenew, which is actually my background. The other items that you see on my card, including the sentiment and the matte layer for the sentiment, those were required as part of Stamp Wars. They were a sabotage. And if you watch Stamp Wars, you'll learn all about sabotages. Our host graciously sent us some pre-cut hot foiled sentiments as part of our package that we had to open live on Stamp Wars. I store my hot foil sentiments in the 3-ring binder that you just saw. These are the perfect sentiments from PinkFresh. There's hot foil plate, there's stamp, and there's die that cuts out both the hot foil sentiments and the stamps. My craft room, the last time I checked, they did have the stamps and dies in stock, and they were going to be ordering more of the hot foil sentiments. And so check my craft room for these online, and don't forget that there is a coupon code that expires tonight, the 17th of January 2022 at midnight, and you can use those for your purchase at my craft room. The hot foil that we're going to be using all comes from Bluebonnet. Bluebonnet is an online shop that is on Facebook. I will have a link below to the Bluebonnet Facebook shop. Getting these tags out of the way, I'll be creating some tags, but this is the set that I chose to create with for Stamp Wars follow-up. This is called Folk Bird, and again, it's a PinkFresh Studio system. It's available at my craft room. I've got the Go Press and Foil machine, which is available at my craft room, and you can check it out for more details at their website. But I'm going to be hot foiling. Now you'll see the hot foil, when you put your hot foil plate on that hot foil system, you want to put the shiny side down always. Always, always, always put the shiny side down. You'll see that I am layering my piece of paper that I'm going to be hot foiling on, as well as some shim. Sometimes with hot foiling, you do have to shim your project. This is going to create the adequate amount of pressure to adhere. And some hot foil dies require a little bit longer on the machine than others. Sometimes it's a process of trial and error. With the Go Press and Foil, you run it through your die cut machine. You'll see my hands on the side here. I am slowly running that plate that is part of the machine through my other machine, which is the way that you use this system. So let's go ahead and look at my results. All right. I'm going to close the lid and let that keep heating because I am going to do more than one. Oh, it's just beautiful. Look at that beautiful red, and you can see how well that foiled. Perfect foiling. If you try this and do not get the perfect result each time, just do some trial and error. Go ahead and maybe add a shim, which is just a piece of cardstock. I think I added 2 100-pound shims to this. I'm laying my paper down and then I'm putting the shims on top. So I've got a piece of paper that I am hot foiling on, and then I've got 2 100-pound shims, and I'm letting it heat for about 30 seconds. Each time that you hot foil something, whether it be sentiments, whether it be this beautiful image, by the way, this is called Folk Birds. It's from PinkFresh. It's available at my craft room. Each time is going to be different. So just don't give up. Just practice, and you'll be so glad that you did, because the results are stunning. There's nothing quite as beautiful, in my opinion, as a card that is foiled. And we have a Facebook group called Foiling Snobs Club. If you're not familiar with it, I'll have it linked below in my description box. I would encourage you to consider joining if you are a person who foils. I think you'll learn a lot from our group, and we are not snobs. We're just a little bit snobbish about the results of our foiling. We look for good results. We look for outstanding results. And so that's why we call ourselves the Foiling Snobs. Now I have some gold faceted foil. This is also from Blue Bonnet. It is available in their shop. I'm going to trim this, and I just basically have a very small cutting board beside my Go Press and Foil machine. I use the magnet that comes with this little cutting board, and then I just cut my foil that way. All right. You can use scissors. You can use other machines to cut as far as cutters to cut your foil, but this is just what works for me. It almost becomes an assembly line. It almost becomes manual like process. Once you do it a couple times, you can do it 100 times. Okay. That's what's the fun thing about hot foiling. There I'm laying my plate down with my shims on top. I'm holding it. You don't have to hold it. It's just what I was doing at this moment in time. I guess I'm trying to, send my good vibes through the fingertips there. I don't know if any of you have ever done that before. Once I take it out, I will run it through my manual die cut machine slowly. This is the key word, to run it through slowly. And that then is applying the right amount of pressure. You've also got the right amount of heat to create the beautiful hot foiled background. And man, is this one gorgeous. I'm in love with this one. I'm so pleased with how this turned out. I think the red is gorgeous, but I think the gold is stunning. Okay, now that I hot foiled it 3 times, I'm going to go ahead and ink blend it twice. I'll ink blend it twice live so you can see what it looks like. Now, this is called the Folk Bird, basically, suite of products. So when I saw this, I immediately thought of Pennsylvania Dutch. I live in Western Pennsylvania, where there are a lot of people who have their roots in Pennsylvania, German. So as I'm coloring this with my Catherine Pooler inks, I'm thinking about the Pennsylvania Dutch sort of signs that you might see in Lancaster County. And that is what inspires me. And at the end, this is beautiful. I'm actually going to frame it and hang it on my wall because it has that Pennsylvania Dutch quintessential blue and red and yellow and orange, those bright primary colors. You guys know that I'm really drawn to those colors. So this turns out great. I started with Tiara and Tiki Torch, and I ink blended those flowers. The 2 flowers on top, I used Tiara. The middle flowers, I used Tiki Torch, and the bottom, I used Tiara. And then I'm using suede shoes for the birds. I really wanted that rich blue color that you so often see in the Lancaster County arts and crafts, and that is spot on. Perfect. Now we're going to ink blend our first layer with the leaves, the foliage, and I'm going to be using Lime Ricky. And just taking my little brush, making sure that it has, been cleaned off on a piece of scrap paper so I don't pick up any ink that I might have used previously with this blending brush. And the stencils do all the work for you. It's pretty easy. You just pick your colors and go. So I have to color in the beaks on the birds, and I use Tiki Torch. Now I'm switching over to my tiny cosmetic brushes. I'll have these linked below in the description box. They are a very small-headed blending brush. And because that beak is so tiny, I wanted to make sure that I got that coverage. Now I'm switching over to Rocking Red for the bird's wings. So that's another little detail that I'm creating here. And then I'm going back to Lime Ricky, and I'm using my Wendy Vecchi Make Art Station tool, which holds my stencil in place. So I don't have to use any kind of tape or adhesive on it. It's a wonderful product to have if you are using stencils. If you're using these layering stencils, it is a godsend. All right. I did speed this video up to about 4 times fast forward. I don't move this fast, and never have I ever moved this fast. But I know that it takes some time to get through this process, and you're getting the gist of things by me fast forwarding it. Now I've got another layer here. And by the way, these stencils are all numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. So you know which layer to color first. Awesome. And so I go ahead and I grab Eucalyptus. It's a little bit of a darker green color, but I thought that would look nice on these leaves because right now what I'm accenting are the veins in the leaves. So I thought that color would be a nice color to complement the Lime Ricky. It gives it just enough contrast. I'm almost done. It looks like I may have missed one little area. So, that little flower at the bottom is not ink blended. So I grabbed the stencil that corresponds with that. I think it's number 2. And I'm going to go in with the Rocking Red because that will tie it all together perfectly. Looks like I'm reapplying a little bit of Rocking Red to some of my flowers just to give it a little bit of a blend. But then that bottom flower needs to be colored in. So let's go ahead. It's okay to go back in with your stencils and sort of do a touch up or, add some contrast. Oh my gosh, I think this turned out great. Many of you might think those colors just aren't your cup of tea. That's okay. I'm going to do another one with more of a pink palette. So let's go ahead and make our birds red. These are the little blending brushes that I'm using. They are sold on Amazon. I'll have them linked below in my description box. They are really perfect for these small detailed areas that need to be completed with this system. Okay, so the first layer we know I'm going to do the birds with rouge, which is a real rich red color that's part of the Catherine Poulter inks. So if you've been staying tuned to this video, you're very fortunate because now I'm going to tell you the question that you need to answer in order to be eligible or entered into my giveaway. The question is, what do you know about the Pennsylvania Dutch? I'll repeat that again. In your comment below, you have to leave a comment below. Tell me, what do you know about the Pennsylvania Dutch? I also am asking you to please give this video a thumbs up as part of being entered into this contest. And please also subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber. So that's what you need to do to be eligible to win my prize, which my prize is the Tiny Patterns hot foil plate from Altenew, compliments of my craft room, who were the sponsors for Stamp Wars 17. As you can see, I'm using this rouge color or red for all of the flowers in this first layer. I guess I'm in a hurry because I didn't use all my magnets, and I'm just like shifting the stencil a little bit here and there, but it all turns out pretty good. Now I have Tiki Torch. I'm using Tiki Torch to color in this big flower in the middle, and doesn't that look pretty? Yeah, I like the way this one turned out too. In the end, it's going to be more of pinks than the other one, which was more blues and reds. Now it's time to ink blend our leaves. And for my first layer, whoops, looks like I have, I forgot the beaks. I am using Tiki Torch again to color the beaks on the birds. Now I'm going to use Garden Party for my first go at these leaves. And on this stencil set, the leaves take the most time. So, but it's beautiful. I love it. I think that the background stamp, which I didn't stamp out for this video because this video is focused on hot foiling, I think the background stamp is also going to be gorgeous, and you can use these stencils on the background stamp. So there's people out there that don't like to color. I know Stacy, who is part of the FSC design team, is one of those people. And so that's what she loves so much about these PinkFresh products. You can ink blend them, and it's a lot quicker probably than coloring them. But if you do like to color, you can get the background stamp and you can color it whatever colors you would like. Alrighty then, let's move on to our next color. I'm using Limoncello, which is a pretty yellow color, to color in the wings of the birds. So my birds are red with yellow wings, and they actually turn out to look really pretty. Now going in with another layer here in the stencil system, which will be the part that this will be the veins of the leaves. I'm going to go ahead and use Lime Ricky. So I used Garden Party and Lime Ricky. I am blending with the small makeup brushes. When I dip the brush into the ink, I also then blend it off a little bit on a piece of scrap paper, just so that it's not too powerful. This is our final layer, and it's going to go over the parts that we already ink blended, so we can go in with a complementary color. And I chose Orange Twist, which is an orange color that's part of the little primary set of colors that you can purchase at Catherine Pooler. It has 4 different colors. And I think it really looks nice in the end, you guys. The flowers look pink as a result. So let's go ahead and finish our ink blending and look at the way things turned out. Oh, it's gorgeous. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, now I have the dye. The dye aligns with this image, and I'll just run that through my die cut machine. I am going to tape it down with some non-permanent tape. And you can see I'm just trying to align it. Remember, my head is not directly over this as I'm working at my desk. It's really not that hard to line up. Here we go. Here are the bits and pieces that come out after you die cut it. All right. Another option, though, is to just keep it the way it is. I think this is really pretty the way it is. So I'm going to use a stitched rectangle die, and I'm going to cut this panel. And that will be the end for this part. I'm not going to color in the background. I'm not going to die cut it with the die. For the folk bird, I'm just going to run it through my die cut machine and just use it as a card panel as is. And I'm going to frame it because it's so pretty and it reminds me of Pennsylvania Dutch. And in case you're just catching it, the question you need to answer is, what do you know about the Pennsylvania Dutch? Answer in the description box below. You must be a U.S. resident, age 18 or older, to be entered into the giveaway. The winner will be picked on Nancy's YouTube channel on January 22nd. Please check out the description box below also for the YouTube channels of the other members of the FSC design team. They will also be posting Stamp Wars follow-up videos to give you some inspiration for hot foiling. So I'm just trying to decide how I want to use these little cutout bits and pieces. So don't mind me as I go through my little process here. Oh, and another thing that you'll need to do is give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And also please leave the comment below in the description box. What do you know about the Pennsylvania Dutch? Again, the Stamp Wars was sponsored by My Craft Room, which is a small web-based company that provides products from different manufacturers such as Altenew and PinkFresh. They go out on the road every year and participate in stamp shows. I met the owner, Joyce, at the Pittsburgh Stamp Show last year. And then Nancy and I got to see her again at the stamp show in Allentown. And at that time, she graciously offered to be a sponsor for Stamp Wars. And as part of her sponsorship, she's offering a 15% discount code to her website. The discount expires tonight, January 17th, 2022 at midnight Eastern Standard Time for 15% off at My Craft Room. I'll have all that information listed below in my description box. I am going to post this video very quickly after it uploads. So if you see something that is missing in my description box, please be patient with me. I'm going to go in and add all my links, but I really wanted to get this video up as soon as possible with information about My Craft Room and a link to their store and the coupon code. That's going to go up immediately, and then I will keep adding information to my links below. So you might not see all my links all at once. Okay, it's going to be a build-in process. I decided to go with black cardstock. I was on the fence about this, but I think it makes a... Wow, what an impact it makes. I think it's gorgeous. Just trying to decide where to put my cute little birdies. Just gluing them directly down to the card panel. And don't forget, there's another little flower that needs to go on. I'm going to move this a little bit because it seems like the bird is just a little bit too close to this flower. I'm sure that I did not line it up right when I put it down. There's a tiny little flower then at the bottom. I'm going to trim these that hang off. I'm going to trim those. And then I'm going to put that little flower right in the middle just to tie things up. And I think it looks great. I'm really pleased with how this turned out. What's nice about this is you can design this for any type of card. You can use these pieces on a slimline card. You could just use the birds. You could just use the flowers. There are so many possibilities. I just have a little piece of that flower that kind of stuck out underneath, so I'm just going to trim that with my X-Acto knife. And I'm just trying to get the excess glue up at this point. Now, we were required to create tags. So these are the tags that I created using the Tiny Patterns hot foil plate set. I'm ink blending these with It's a Girl from Catherine Pooler. I used the confetti Tiny Patterns plate on both of these, and I rounded the corners on this one. And I'm thinking that that's one way that you can use your hot foil. You can hot foil onto your paper and then ink blend over top of it. And you can see that I'm ink blending over the entire foiled area. I'm thinking it's looking pretty good. It's a real pretty pink. And I'm just trying to decide, do I want to also foil along the top? And on this one, because it is such a small area, I did decide to go ahead and foil on the top. And then for the striped, oh, by the way, I did foil these with red foil from Blue Bonnet, which I will have a link to Blue Bonnet in my description box below. And then for the green tag, which actually is the vertical lined, I used Grass Skirt, and I'm going to use my small blending brush and just ink blend. So what you see here are those lines. They are hot foiled with that green foil from Blue Bonnet using the Tiny Patterns hot foil plate from Altenew. It creates the perfect tag or accent to a card, which is a lot of fun. And for this one, I go ahead and I ink blend on the back too. The back side I had foiled, but it wasn't even, so I flipped it over and did the other side. So this one has hot foiling on the front and the back. I went ahead and grabbed my ink blending brush, which is the full size, just to speed things up a bit and get a more even ink blended area. All right, so that's pretty much all the products that I created, and all of them are going to be finished, and I will show you photos of the finished product here momentarily. But I wanted to give you one last tip. Any hot foil plate that you have can be used in your die cut machine as a dry emboss. So you'll see here, I took the confetti mini hot foil plate that we received and I ran it through on this scrap paper. And you can see that it embossed the paper. So that's another thing that you can use your hot foil plates for. You can run them through your die cut machine and have a dry embossed technique. Just another way to stretch your supplies. Here is a still shot of the dry embossed paper. And now here are some photos of my finished projects. Thanks so much for watching. Please check out the description box for all the details below on my giveaway and on Stamp Wars. Thank you for giving this video a thumbs up and have a hopeful day. Bye-bye.